Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to give my opinion on it's me, Jay. I just wanted to give my opinion on Jey Uso. Well, the news has come out that Jey Uso as champion, while Jey Uso is leading the helm as champion. The Raw has experienced the lowest ratings of all time since being on Netflix. Let's call it up right now. Raw drops in global rankings. Right here. What little data we can get about the performance of WWE Raw is here. Tandem ranks Netflix top 10 shows by weekly number of views, by which calculates the dividing time of all subscribers spent watching a program by its duration. So basically, Raw has lost over 1 million viewers with Jey Uso at the helm. Now, the reason why I say Jey Uso is at the helm, people might say, well, Jay, there's two champions, John Cena and Jey Uso. Yes, that's true. But the fact of the matter is, on most of the Raws, Jey Uso is positioned as the top star. Raw basically centers around who Jey Uso is feuding with, whether whether it's Logan Paul, whether it's the Dangerous Alliance, whoever Jey Uso is feuding with, that's what the Raw episodes is centered around, or even John Cena and himself. You know what I mean? So Jey Uso is being put out there as the number one star of the promotion, despite being holding what many consider to be a secondary title in the World Heavyweight title. And he is not doing well. Um, Viewership is down. Attendances are still high, but then again, uh, Backlash, he didn't main event it. WrestleMania 41, he didn't main event. But since he's won the title, fans have lost interest in him. And here's the reason why I think that is. I don't think that Jey Uso is that bad of a wrestler. He's one dimensional. But hey, that never stopped Hulk Hogan. That never stopped The Rock. That never stopped Bill Goldberg. A lot of those guys, a lot of the stars we like, even Stone Cold Steve Austin, was pretty one dimensional himself and really couldn't have a great match unless he had a great dancing partner. Right? What I blame it on is this idea of Jey Uso as the underdog. Okay, him as the underdog, being the surprise winner of the Royal Rumble in 2025 was okay. Even him as the underdog going against Gunther, that was okay. Because despite the fact he had main evented against Gunther in Saturday Night's main event before that in 2024 and failed to win, it was no big deal because now he was reinvigorated with his Royal Rumble win, right? But after he wins the championship, you cannot book him as an underdog. You cannot have Gunther continue to go out there and berate Jey Uso. Continue to tell Jey Uso that the reason why he's unfocused as a champion is because he's helping his friends. He's helping Cody Rhodes. He's helping CM Punk. He's helping this one and he's helping that one. Right? Because you book him as an underdog and you make it seem like he doesn't deserve to be there. That Gunther would be a better champion, that John Cena would be a better champion, that anybody else besides him would be a better champion. You can't do that to your champion because then you devalue the championship. Like, oh, this guy, he should be just happy to be there because he's some kind of ham and egger. Right? And we saw this before. And this usually happens in WWE history when somebody they don't want to put the belt on somebody, but they have to. They feel like they have to. For example, Rey Mysterio, let's go rewind back to 2006. In 2006, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble almost 20 years now, 19 years ago, right? Uh, Rey Mysterio won the Royal Rumble, and he was an undersized guy, and he beat the odds. He defeated Kurt Angle and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 22, and he became the World Heavyweight Champion. His title reign sucked because they continuously made him the underdog despite everything. And people will say, okay, that's acceptable for Ray because of his size. Okay? But it made it seem like he didn't deserve to be there. Let's a more recent example from 5 years ago. Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston did not win the Royal Rumble, unlike Jey Uso and Rey Mysterio, but fought his way up, gave an amazing performance at 2019's Elimination Chamber. Mustafa Ali got injured, and they put Kofi in, and then all of a sudden, the scuttlebutt around Kofi was that he's going to win the WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35. He does it. History making, becoming the first black guy to ever win the WWE Championship, and it's all history, right? But how's he booked? Terrible. He had a long reign, but he's booked terrible. And the only good match he had was the match against Randy Orton. That was like 10 years in the making since '09, right when Kofi first debuted with the company. So they devalued him as a champion. They made him seem weak, right? Another example of this, even Chris Benoit. WWE didn't want to put the belt on Chris Benoit in '04. Amazing matches and amazing technician, but they really didn't want to put the belt on him. They did it kicking and screaming, and the title reign sucked. So I think that was similar to it was similar with this. I think Triple H probably wanted to go another way, but he saw the momentum that Jey Uso was having with Yeet and decided, okay, let's put the belt on him. But he's not a star. You know what I mean? This whole storyline of him being the perpetual underdog is devaluing him as a champion. You want to make your champion seem dominant. And you don't want to put the belt on him when he's not ready. That's another thing. That's another thing that WWE has done in the past. I take you back to 1995. In 1995, Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, had this amazing year, right? Eliminating everybody in the 1994 Royal Rumble, winning the Intercontinental Championship, winning the Tag Team Championships himself and Shawn Michaels. And then finally defeating Bob Backlund in a matter of seconds for the WWF Championship in November, right? So, but he goes into 1995 and he can barely beat Bret Hart in their match, and he seems like he's just happy to be there. And when you book a champion like that, of course the people aren't going to get behind him. You got to book him strong. Another example: Bret Hart himself. Bret Hart's first title reign, 1992. He beats Ric Flair in an untelevised match in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It comes out of nowhere. It's announced on WWF TV that all of a sudden Bret Hart, a guy who fans have perceived as a mid-carder, an intercontinental wrestler, or a tag team wrestler, is all of a sudden the WWF champion in a match that was untelevised. And constantly he's getting beaten up. He's getting beaten up by Yokozuna, that year's Royal Rumble winner. He's getting beaten up by everybody. And once again, like Rey Mysterio and like Jey Uso and like Kevin Nash and like Kofi Kingston and like all these other examples, it makes it look like the champion is not a dominant champion. He's a fighting champion, but he's not a dominant champion. He continues to get dominated by his opponents, and he continues to get outmatched and outwitted by his opponents. And that's what we've seen with Jey Uso. We've seen numerous times on Raw where Jey Uso is laid out by Logan Paul, laid out by John Cena, laid out by Gunther, made fun of by John Cena, Gunther, and Logan Paul. Is this the way you want to book your champion? No, you want to book your champion as a dominant champion. In the vein of Hulk Hogan. Imagine for a minute, it's 1984. Hulk Hogan has just made the jump from the AWA to the WWE, and now He's defeated the WWE champion, the Iron Sheik. He's the champion. He's the face of the company. But instead of being dominant, he's continuously getting beaten up. He's continuously getting embarrassed, and he's continuously having bad opponents thrown at him. Wouldn't that make Hulk Hogan look weak? It wouldn't make Hulk Hogan look like a strong champion. Contrast that with what Jey Uso was going to. You're just launching this guy. You're just launching him as a mid carder. You're just launching him as a dominant champion. I compare when he won the Royal Rumble. I compared him to Shawn Michaels. I said he is similar to Shawn Michaels because he's a tag team wrestler. He's a mid card wrestler, and they're launching him. They're launching him in a big way by having him win the Royal Rumble. But of course, Shawn Michaels in 1995 did not go on to defeat Diesel for the championship at WrestleMania 11. He won it the next year at WrestleMania 12 against Bret Hart. But that's an example of how to launch somebody in a big way, in a good way. Shawn Michaels was very dominant when he was WWF champion. He was taking on all comers, and he was dominating them, and he was beating them. He was beating Vader. He was beating the British Bulldog. He was beating Diesel. He was beating until the end when he lost to the Sid in '96 in Survivor Series '96. So that's a good way to book a wrestler as a first time champion. Not the way they're booking Jey Uso. This perpetual underdog shit. It didn't work with Rey Mysterio. It didn't work with Bret Hart. It didn't work with Kofi Kingston. What makes people, and it didn't even work with Daniel Bryan. Yeah, Daniel Bryan and the Yes movements. We all remember 2014, WrestleMania 30. But when he comes out of it, he's feuding with Kane. He's being dominated by Kane, and of course the injury. But despite the injury, still, Daniel Bryan's title reign was a lame duck title reign. I think that's the case here with Jey Uso. Fans just don't seem to want to get behind Jey Uso as the face of the company, and that's what they're never positioning him for. Because Cody's not on the Raws on Netflix. John Cena's not on the Raws on Netflix. Roman is not on the Raws on Netflix. CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso are carrying the load. And as far as those that hold the title, only Jey Uso holds the championship. Peace, guys. That's all I gotta say.